Hello guys, so it's a fairly sunny day, Saturday in sunny Leith, and this is where I currently live, actually, a part of Edinburgh, but it used to be like an independent area, a little village or town of Leith, actually, port of Leith. There's a harbour here, and there's actually a really vast amount of very interesting things in Leith, which I think is maybe sometimes overlooked because people are so hung up on, you know, the castle and just the other kind of mainstream attractions of Edinburgh that happen in the city centre. But Leith, it does have that feel of independence. Like when you come here, it definitely feels like a kind of a separate place. And that's why it's such a great place to live, because you're in kind of a town that has its own vibe and its own attractions and its own people. And it actually used to be a thing that, you know, Leithers used to kind of disagree or not like being called like they're from Edinburgh or whatever. They had like their own little identity. But anyway, what I'm here to show you is just a little path that runs beside my house, and I walk here very often. And it's beautiful because it's got like lots of kind of wild, untouched nature and stuff like that. As you can see, it's nice and wild, and the water of Leith running through here, very cool. And you can get really freaked out by this. This is what I want to show you, is that, you know, you're walking down here, maybe sun is setting, it's nice and quiet. It's got a little bit of like a creepy vibe because of all the kind of bushes and untamed nature and stuff, and you're walking on your own and you're just kind of like looking at the water, nice and relaxed. And it's getting a little bit dark and it's getting a little bit creepy, and then all of a sudden you see a man standing in the water, you know, about waist deep, looking at you. You can see him, and you really freak out. So like the first time people see this, it's the freakiest, creepiest experience. So first of all, let me show you what it is, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Okay, so this guy is actually like a metal sculpture, and it is true to like the real human size. And it's actually, it's a series of sculptures that have been placed, I don't know by who, all over the kind of water of Leith, and there's, I don't know how many of them, there's like 3 or 4 at least. They're extremely creepy, and they're like naked-ish, I suppose, and they're positioned always in the way that they're kind of looking you straight in the eye as you pass them by. I guess they're a good way of illustrating like the level of water in the river. So that's one idea, and the second one is, I guess, gathering trash and debris around them. So there you go, the man of Leith. Okay, so since it's Saturday and we still have a little bit of daylight, we're gonna show you around Leith a little bit. It's really beautiful here. We're continuing to walk around along the canal or water of Leith. It's actually not a canal, it's a river. But it is fairly small around here in this area. So walking that direction, we would get to all the way to the sea and the water and the port of Leith and what's called the shore area. And walking that direction where we're going currently would eventually get us towards the city centre and Dean's Village. So yeah, it's a lovely little path, and you can take it all the way, pretty much, you know, from, is it north to south? I don't know, something like that. So, or like east-west, it's not exact, but something like that. So you can take this path along the water, basically all the way through Edinburgh. So it gets a bit wider here, and there's many spots where it gets a bit wider and quieter, and then it gets quite lively and narrow over there. So it's like really beautiful and really inspiring, but it's totally wild. There doesn't seem to be any kind of landscaping here. So we carry on walking, crossing this little magical bridge, which is really cool. And these bridges are quite light, and they bounce when there's like a few people walking, crossing them. So just wanted to show you this really freaky, kind of cool, old looking wall. Unfortunately, graffiti has ruined it a bit, but I don't know if this is actually a part of something original. There is actually a lot of Roman ruins in Edinburgh. And in the UK, so like you can come across these really super old, surprisingly old walls, but I'm not sure what this is, but it's really cool. And on top of that, they are building a new, you know, flats kind of establishment area, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, these things look particularly cool. I don't know what it is, but hey. So we're now approaching Leith Walk, as promised. in search of food and other attractions. So this here is Pilrick Street, which is one of the kind of major arteries that cut through Leith Walk. Now this is important because it's pretty much the streets that cut through Leith Walk are the only kind of orientation points of explaining to people where you are perhaps on Leith Walk, because it's quite a long road. So you can kind of locate shops or pubs or bars by just recognizing which artery you are near to. And yeah, basically that's it. We're on Leith Walk. So this is the halfway mark, I would say, of from top to bottom of Leith Walk. So we live and we came from closer to the bottom, which is called the foot of the walk. And the top is obviously the top, which is where the walk meets the city center. Yes. So there we go. We're gonna go and check out all the shops. Oh, there we go. There's some like jolly Leithers there saying hello. Ooh, so it's getting a bit chilly. So that's another thing. Ooh, yeah, gonna get run over. So the mission right now is to find some nice little food place. They have a couple of like Italian style shops here. Well, this is actually worth a look when you look at that church there. Oh yeah, there we go. There we are. That church is gorgeous, and it's just on the corner here. Now you will notice that this place isn't looking very peachy right now because of the tram construction. Basically most of the walk northbound is closed. They're building the tram here, so it's a bit of a mess at the moment with traffic and stuff. But yeah, so when you look along the walk, you've got lots of charity shops that sell a lot of really nice kind of vintage clothes. You've got an amazing shop that we're actually going to head to called Epoca, which is just across the street over there by Pilrick Street. So if you want to come here, I recommend that one. They have lots of like authentic vintage clothing. We're gonna go check that out, and we're gonna go to one of these Italian style kind of patisseries to find some maybe gourmet alcohol, a little bit of a shot for fun, and some food. Yeah. So destination number 1 has been reached, and let me just show you quickly. We're here at this shop called Valvona Crolla. Obviously Italian themed place. So we are now, oh, nice and sunny. We are now actually at the top of Leith Walk. So what you can see over there is basically the city center, bottom of Princess Street. And behind me is this little Italian shop, which is very deep. When you walk inside, it's got hams, it's got cheeses. Maybe we'll have a look inside in a minute, if they permit. But what we're after actually is those miniature bottles, just to kind of try a couple of like nice malt whiskeys or something like that. Probably gonna pay a fortune for this, but hey ho. Adventure day. So yeah, you've got all these little tiny miniatures here, so that's pretty cool. And let's see, let's get our masks on and see what we're gonna go for. So this is like gym, so we're gonna go up here maybe. Got the Glenmorangie, which is like a classic kind of local whiskey, and I think, and this Glengoyle maybe. The rest I really have no idea what I'm talking about. So oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know where they're from. All Scotch whiskies. Well, Spey is obviously the Spey side, yeah, that explains you where it's from. Explains to you. Wow, there's actually quite a lot. Up here, this Lefroy, Jura. Very good. Have a good choice. This stuff, yeah. Are you getting the tortano or like pizza?
Yeah, I'll get the tortano.
I think I want that pizza there. That slice.
Yeah.
Let's scoop out some cakes maybe. Can I get a tortano and a slice of that pizza there with parma? Yeah. That crest. Look at that crest. By appointment, by royal appointment. I feel like royalty now. Just like ripened cow milk. Slightly smoky glass of beer.
Looks like balls.
Well, you wouldn't drink the beer with the balls. Dip your balls in beer.
So when we moved here, we decided to spend more time in
Right, out and about again with all the goods. So we are gonna take a minute now to eat and drink, so as to we don't faint of hunger. But guys, I truly recommend this shop. It's really cute, and if you have a lot of money to spend, or not, and you want to be poor for the rest of the month like ourselves, you can come here. It's again Valvona and Crolla. It's got the royal crest and everything, so it's definitely the real shit. So yeah, check it out. Why is it raining? Like the only drop of rain produced by the sky fell on my face. So yeah, we're trying to cross the Leith walk, and as I said, it's a bit of a mess right now because of the tram construction, so we're unable to find any spots to sit down and eat our nosh. Maybe here around the corner somewhere. There's like lots of little posh steps across the road. So this is a next stop from the gourmet delicatessen to a trashy old little alleyway. So this is obviously happening due to the weather conditions. The rain just came out of nowhere. I was just saying outside that shop that the sunshine was gorgeous. So now here we are, eating in some trashy alleyway. But this is Edinburgh for you, and this is the most gourmet bum whiskey tasting that you have ever seen. So these bottles cost us like £10 each, which is ridiculous. But we're drinking it next to the trash, so that's just the balance in life that you need to find. Anyway, what I have here to help me is a little card that we got at the Scottish whiskey tasting. And when you rub them, they give you a little smell, and you can tell which whiskey comes roughly from which region. These are a little worn. Since the whiskey I'm holding is named Jura after the place it comes from, the Isle of Jura. I'm not good at Scottish geography, but I think it comes from the Isles here. So this would be the area, Isla. And this actually smells like leather mostly. So it's like leather, a little bit of like sherry cask maybe. What else do we have here? We have these objects here that help us decide. So like maybe tobacco, perhaps a little bit of caramel, some kind of fennel seeds, things like that. But it's mostly like an old man's shoe type thing. Can definitely smell the sherry cask, which is true to what it says on the bottle. Maturation American white oak bourbon barrels. And the finish is aged blossom sherry butts, is it? Anyway, so yeah, definitely smells of the sherry and the bourbon. Well, let's try it. Yeah, definitely tastes the caramel. I'm not very good at the detailed descriptions, but sherry, bourbon, caramel, leather, yeah? But we've got the second whiskey of the day, which is called the Tomatin, 12-year. Now, what can you say about this? We've got the little map, so let's see what you can figure out.
So this whiskey is Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, and it's from the Highland region of Scotland.
Where exactly?
Inverness. That's what it says on Google.
As we just found out on Google.
So this smells more like flowers or lavender.
Lavender smell.
I doubt their whiskey actually tastes like that, but we'll see.
You never smell the flowers, do
We'll have a
you?
look. I don't know. So let's crack this open.
Tastes great. We tried to pour some water in there, but
Yeah,
give me a
definitely.
schnoff.
I can smell.
It's like honey.
I can
for
smell
me.
the flowery aroma.
Yeah, honey, I guess, is also. It's very pale. It's very pale. Yeah, it's almost like water.
It's very light. Very light.
Very clear. No, do a switcheroo. Maybe, yeah. Maybe there is some flower there. Although I can smell honey. Let's do it. Ooh, this one is much smoother than that one. It's very like gentle. Definitely, I can dig the flowers. I would say, yeah, this lavender, a little bit of honey. I don't know if they have honey here. I don't know. But yeah, some flowers, maybe some spices a little bit. Inverness, yeah, there we go. So that's a Highland whiskey. According to the bottle, a rich fruity aroma, prelude to sweet, smooth flavors of ripe apples. Maybe ripe honey, but okay, I don't know. So I'll let you have a little bit more. Right, so there's the little shop we're going into. That's the vintage shop on the corner of, is it Iona Street? Yeah. And it's just opposite the Polish shop. Taste of Poland here in Edinburgh on Leith Walk. This shop really has some cool stuff, so let's go check it out. just cross the street and not get killed. And I just want to say this tree looks absolutely fabulous here. It's almost like it's meant to be here. I hope they're still open. Let's peek in the window first. Look, Adidas Originals. This is my vice. Definitely cool stuff. Football tops, some glittery hats over there. Really nice. Check this out. Look at this jacket. That'll be warm. Oh yeah. Look at this stuff. Epoca. There we go. Very cool. Okay, let's pop in. Woo! Hi.
Nothing now, just pieces came in, you know. Or just the suits, you know.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Let's take a look at some of this stuff. This is amazing.
It's £5 a photograph. If you want a model, it's £30. Okay.
All right,
Only
thank you.
kid you.
Thank you.
Well, you can't leave the shop unless you buy something. All right. That's the top. They're made in Ireland. Where is it? It's there.
Oh, look at all this stuff. Look at that bag.
Oh, look at that one.
Generalissimo.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yes. That's very rare.
Oh, that is cool.
Made in Ireland, that one. That's very unusual.
Take your hand.
No, I'm sure they go supply.
Wow, that's amazing.
This is coming home.
Oh, very good.
What? What's the thing? It's up to you. I can't have
Wow,
all
I
the
can't
answers.
believe this. This is the most epic thing I've ever seen, and it fits perfectly.
Ask him how much it is.
34 pounds.
All right.
I don't care.
Italian
Oh my God.
theme, French theme,
This is epic.
It's fantastic. Just came in the other day.
I think this is also someone popular who's Rita Ora.
Oh, yeah,
Rita Ora.
Do you want to pay cash on my card? With 10% off.
What's this shop? I retired from this business 12 years ago.
Everything comes from Italy. We got deliveries more or less every first week of every month. So there's
How
always
long have you had this?
oh, 3 years now. Yeah, in August was 3 years. So
It's a family business, and even we try and sources a one-off if we can, you know.
Yeah, brilliant.
But that is amazing. You look amazing in
Oh,
this.
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just pay over there.
See, that goes there, they go.
Yeah.
yeah, yes. Do you need the receipt?
Yeah, I'll take
Okay,
it.
never know in case you wanna.
I love your hair. Who does your hair?
I do.
They're really nice.
I bet it costs a lot of money,
Good
anyway.
value, yeah. Also, really nice color.
Thank you guys. Lovely to meet you.
See you again. Take care.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that red top was kind of like, oh, and I'm like, well, it's a shame. And then I saw this. Absolutely brilliant. It is once again raining with a vengeance, so we will have another whiskey tasting at another little close, which is a little bit less shabby and a little more ornamental, which I'm about to show you in just a second. So we're whiskey specialists, no worries, but you can look at this gate behind me. I'm not sure what the history of that stuff is, but it's really magnificent. There we go. See that? That is proper gorgeous. So this again is another little nook in Leith Walk behind us. Leith Walk with its beautiful railings and building equipment. Right here you can see even a little bit of sunshine and a ton of rain as well. So we've got another 2 whiskeys to try. So there's Smokehead, distilled and bottled in Scotland. It doesn't even really tell you anything. Oh no, it's Isla, yeah? So we know that this one is from Isla.
This one too.
This one's from Isla too. Yeah. So these are the ones that have a very distinct flavor of like smoky cheese, kind of. It's like smoke, leather, and they're actually the only kind that we can kind of recognize as being really distinct. Okay, being really distinct, yeah? They have that punch that you can instantly recognize when you drink. It's like smoked cheese, like, yeah, I know this is a different one. So that's Isla. So we've got Smokehead and Lafroy, little skull, so I'm a bit worried. But tasting notes: peat, high, intensity high, spice, medium, and sweetness, medium. we'll see what we can get out of this, right? So Slanjva, by the way, that means in Gaelic good health. So like cheers, Slanjva. Yeah, so it gives you like a, oof, but it is nice. It's actually like so much more distinct. So I recognize shoes. This is leather, definitely leather. Tobacco. So this actually tastes like Dettol. It's actually a treat because it's so different. It's very like in your face. There's a massive cable. I'm not sure if it's active or not. Maybe it's not, but like there's a massive, what looks like a possibly electric cable coming all the way down from there. And then it just ends here on the middle of the walkway where you step onto it, and not sure if you're gonna get electrocuted or what. That's another cable that's just coming from some flat, some window, and just hanging down all the way to the other side and perhaps going into another place. So it's like, what's happening with this? Don't you understand indoor electricity? Like, do you actually have to have a cable hanging over the road? Like, it's ridiculous. And you can't see across probably right now, but like each of those windows beside them, as you can see, has these cables. Like, can't you do this indoors? Aren't we like, I don't know, maybe because these are Victorian buildings, it's crazy. Walking out of his dodgy business. Should we carry on? At the top there, you can see a tower. So that tower is located behind Kirkgate, which is like a little shopping center, notorious for the foot of the walk. So at the very end of the Leith walk, almost like parallel, you can see it all the way from town, is that tower and these shops. And at the back of these shops, that tower, you know, lots of dodgy business going on. Again, kind of junky Leith versus posh Leith. And we're headed right into the eye of the cyclone or whatever. Here's another interesting point. As we get to the bottom of the Leith walk, so the foot of the walk, there's a pub, and it has just recently been christened Mother Superior's. So I wonder if you can, oh, the Mother Superior, sorry. The Mother Superior. I wonder how many of you can guess what that means. So let's just have a quick look. Unfortunately, the pub doesn't have like a very special, you know, logo or anything that you could see distinctively, but it does say here, the Mother Superior, established 2020. So it is a really new establishment. So let me tell you now just really quickly who the Mother Superior is. So the Mother Superior was otherwise known as Johnny Swan or Swanee in the Trainspotting story, was our four junkie boys' best friend slash dealer. So at first they were just friends hanging out, and then he became a drug dealer and ended up tragically, blah blah blah, spoiler alert, I'm not gonna tell you anymore. I shouldn't be saying this in case you want to read the story, but anyway, he was the drug dealer. And in the movie, epic scenes when they all shoot up drugs and get high and everything, it all happens in his house at the Mother Superior's, and Renton refers to him when he goes to get drugs, and that notorious scene when he ODs and he sends him off to the hospital after the OD. So that's Johnny Swan, the Mother Superior, and in Leith we've got the Mother Superior pub. So we're getting to the bottom of the Leith walk, Kirkgate right now, and we've got that tower block up there right in the middle. Looking from town, you can see that at the very bottom of Leith walk. So we're gonna go to there, and then we're gonna turn left towards Great Junction Street, which is also notorious from Trainspotting, the book. And over there I'm gonna show you something really cool, and we're gonna do our last whiskey tasting for today. The unfortunate thing is, in the Trainspotting movie we actually don't see a lot of Leith. A lot of it was filmed in Glasgow, obviously Edinburgh city centre, but you don't get to see a lot of Leith. So yeah, it's a little bit, like, the movie is a little bit confusing, but yeah, there we go. So as you get to the very bottom of Leith walk, foot of the walk, is actually what that pub over there is called. It's a part of the Wetherspoon pub chain. So on the corner there with the white doorway, you can see the pub called the Foot of the Walk. And in the very middle of the little square, in the center of the shops, is a statue of Queen Victoria. So it is actually quite pretty here. The last final highlight of today, and it really is a highlight, is a gem that this building apparently has won many awards for architecture and stuff. It was built between 1963 and 65. And it's like a classic example of this utilitarian, what's called brutalism building style, which means that it's basically a good old industrial concrete building, and the decoration is supposed to be just that. The fact that it's industrial, the fact that the building industrial materials are showing, they're bare, and it's basically just a block of concrete, but it also does a job. So it is very familiar to me, having lived in Poland, because obviously in the kind of communist era, all the buildings built in Warsaw after the war, they kind of look like that. So this building I'm about to show you is called Banana Flats. It's also more officially known as Cables Wynd in Edinburgh and Leith. It has 212 flats, and it is shaped like a banana, but more significantly to the Trainspotting fans, I'm sure you're aware that Simon Williamson, the character Sickboy, came from this very place. It is quite a giant. You can't see the very end of it just there because we've got some coverage of other buildings, but it curves and it goes another, I think, like maybe few flats that way. It is shaped like kind of a banana if you simplify it. It is curved. Like I said, 212 flats, built in the 1960s. It has won many awards for architecture. I'm not exactly sure why. It's not a beauty. And the interesting thing about it is the very bottom level is called the Cables Wynd, and it's got a life of its own because it's got separate entrances at the very bottom. So you can't see it from here because it's the parking level. We'll go up there in a minute, but that very low level has a separate life of its own. So therefore, when you get into the building, it's actually no longer 10 floors, but it's actually 9 floors if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's 8 minus the 9th one on the bottom. So the bottom one is not actually part of the building as such. And interesting thing about the area, we did tell you that it was a drug dealing area. Leith was in the 60s, 70s, etc., notorious for heroin and stuff like that, but it has really not changed that much, and there's evidence of that everywhere. Precisely right down here on the corner where we're standing, you can see the first evidence of junkiness. So what this is a bottle of methadone. I wonder if you can actually see that. Yeah, methadone. You can even see the name of the person, which is not very nice, but okay. So methadone is a replacement medicine for heroin addicts, which they get here quite freely. Oh, is that police or an ambulance?
Yeah.
Police, okay. Yeah. Of course, there's police coming. Some emergency action going on here. Wonder what that is. But anyway, let's go and continue. So yeah, like I said, the bottom called Cables Wynd, and the rest up Cables Wynd House. Okay, not to be confused. When you're inside, that's important because you're aiming for the right level. Easy to get confused. They have quite nice little gardens out here. It's not too bad, nice and green. But it's just so psychedelic when you're down here, so trippy, like it's like you're inside a well. It's pretty fascinating. All right, keep going. Keep going, keep going. I wonder what these are. It's like planting some sort of stuff here. Planting some sort of stuff. Okay, so we want to particularly have a look at this close. Oh, I see it's been cleaned since the last time I've been here. Yeah, because this was the particular close. Last time I was filming here, there was plenty of like injecting paraphernalia. So we had some syringes and foil and things like that. But I can see that it's all been cleaned up. So nothing much interesting just now, unfortunately. But the place is close enough for us to return. So worry not. We will find it again. So yeah. Shooting Up Gallery has been cleaned up. Sickboy's home, Banana Flats, 220 flats. 212 flats. Is that 8 levels? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in total it's 10 story. So the 10th floor is the bottom one. Okay, so they have separate entrances here. Right, and here we have a little neighborly garden. You can see that. Oh, squirrel. squirrel. Community garden. You can help yourself to some nice little green offerings, but unfortunately no syringes today. So yesterday the weather turned really bad really quickly, so we had to kind of make a dash for it and get home, and we were really quite destroyed from being, you know, caught in the rain so many times and stuff like that. But worry not, the fourth whiskey will be fourth whiskey will be tried as promised on video. And this fourth one is we're doing this on our balcony, so let's hope this is gangsta enough. Outdoors whiskey tasting. Fake news. Anyway, so this is a Lafroig, little sample of 50 mils, aged 10 years. What we can find out from the packaging is it's from the Isla region, so islands. I don't know which island, but yeah. By appointment to His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, distiller and supplier of single malt Scotch whisky, D. Johnson and Co. Lafroig, Isle of Isla. Oh, so that's the island. So Isla is the island? Okay, this is a fail. I thought Isla was just the islands. Okay, fine. That's fine, not to worry. We learn something every day. So, the most richly flavored of all Scotch whiskies, established 1815. Okay, yeah, distilled on the remote island of Isla of the west coast of Scotland. So it is an actual island. Like, I don't know which island Isla is. It's Isla. And we've got the map here, right? So if we rub this little bit, I don't know if it's very used up or not, but the idea is, yeah, it still has a little bit of smell. So again, following what we did yesterday, because we had another Isla. Smelling it now. So what do you smell?
Smoky.
Smoke, burning sheep, smoky, leathery, maybe, we'll see in the whiskey, I guess, what else we can smell. So today we're going pro, we're ditching the trashiness, and we're gonna have a proper little glass. So we're gonna open it now. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's go for it. Pop the whole thing in. Oh, and we can see from yesterday, this is quite different to the first two whiskeys we had, which were more from the western, kind of southern, southwest region. They were very pale and kind of yellow in color. This is a bit brownish, kind of golden, maybe not brown. This is golden, and yeah, you can't really smell caramel, funny enough. I would expect in this kind of color to smell a bit of sherry caramel, but really all I can smell is the kind of sheepy, leathery. You weren't supposed to drink, just smell. No, what do you smell?
Yeah,
This
just the
whiskey.
burn, leather.
Not much sweetness, right?
You can smell a bit. I can
But-
smell a bit of
And
caramel.
it's got, you're supposed to look at the legs as
Yeah,
well.
water in it.
Yeah, you're supposed to look at the legs, so when you swirl it and the stuff that comes down, it's like, if the legs are thicker, it will be like a rich, more
You want me to bring water?
smoky whiskey. So as you were, now you continue.
That's very good.
Yeah?
Very good. Smooth.
Yeah, wow. It's very
nice,
smooth.
Very nice.
You don't get the like massive hit of alcohol, the like kind of like, you know, you don't make that face when you drink it like yesterday. I think one of those ones yesterday was a bit
Really intense.
in your face, but this one is very smooth actually, not what I expected. What's the alcohol content here? Yeah, it's 40%, so it's not, the other one was 43, so it was a bit stronger, but this is not in your face at all. It's very drinkable. I think even for someone who's not a heavy whiskey drinker, you can drink this, but the burny flavor is a bit specific for someone who's maybe not into whiskey. I would say this is a bit for connoisseur, but yeah, nothing sweet in there really. Nothing, no fruitiness. It's more smoky, leather, kind of bitter. Yeah, so I would like from this picture, again, a little bit of disinfectant note maybe. We've got some of the seeds, I would say maybe. Cricket bat, so the woody kind of, what the hell is this? So that's it. So there is no really sweetness or kind of freshness. It makes it sound not very good, but it's actually really surprisingly nice. It's kind of like sitting at a campfire or like by a nice little stove and kind of just like reminiscing of days past, and very comforting, very comforting, not too sharp. So yeah, love it. So I don't know if we're gonna go exploring today, but my next idea for an adventure in Leith again is gonna be Leith Part 2. So going north towards the sea from the guy, and we will call it the trace of the naked guy in the water. So like the trail. So we're gonna follow his footsteps. We're gonna find his brothers, you know, headed towards the sea. We're gonna find more of him in the water of Leith. There's more of him. He hasn't been listening. So there's about 2 more at least, I think. So we'll try to find him maybe today, maybe tomorrow when it's nice, and we'll show you the area called the Shore, which has the nice port and the harbor stuff, and it's generally really nice to look at. And there we go. Cheers.